Welcome, everybody, to our first version of a new episode, new series that we're launching here with the Austin Police Association. We're calling this the Austin Crime Report, and we're going to go over a whole bunch of different things, but we just kind of want to give you some insight into a lot of things that are going on around the city, things that are happening in the department that we can share with you, and just talk about public safety overall. We have some things that we're going to hit up every week in short little videos just to help give you some insight, like I said, into what's going on and to try to just engage more with folks so that way we can provide a lot more information maybe than you can't otherwise get, or that you have to go hunt around in a bunch of different places in order to find out. But first things first is, for those that don't know, I am Michael Bullock. I am the president for the Austin Police Association, and we'll talk a lot more about what the APA is, who we are, what we do, and all that other kind of stuff. But also in here in the studio with me, which is here at our hall, we have Tyler Latham, who is sitting across from me. Tyler is about to be the vice president for the APA.
Vice President-elect.
Vice President-elect at the moment. And then we also have behind the controls, the mastermind with all the buttons, the gadgets, the gizmos, and all that good stuff is Mr. Christopher Irwin.
Hey, everybody. Yeah, just hanging out over here in my dark little corner of the studio, so providing commentary for everyone.
Yeah, so each week you'll see one of us, maybe all three of us. We may have other guests that come on. We're just going to kind of see where this thing goes. But first things first, the important thing to know is all three of us are officers with the Austin Police Department. I have been with the department for going on 8 years now. Prior to being over here at the association, I was working night patrol in Southwest Austin, but it's a part of what's negotiated in our labor agreement. Another thing we'll try to touch on here in this episode is that we are officers that work full-time with the department, but we are on a full-time release, essentially, where we do work for the association full-time. And a big part of that is because at the association, though at times we may not agree, oftentimes our goals and our mission does align with the city. So we are really here to amplify what the goals of the department are and to help it operate more efficiently. So, but like I said, I've been with the department for 8 years. I am a rank of a senior patrol officer. And Tyler, how long have you been here?
I have been here for 15 years. I'm currently a sergeant.
What have you done?
What have I done? Oh, I've done lots. I spent about 5 years on patrol, then I went and was a K-9 handler in the patrol K-9 unit, followed by a promotion after that to detective in the aggravated assault unit. And then I went back to K-9 as a corporal, and then I've been over here at the association since then.
Yep. And then we have Mr. Irwin. Detective Irwin.
Detective. I'm a detective on paper only. I've never actually detected anything. I was a corporal, was the last job I had before I came over to the association. So I've been with APD 13 years now. I started out in Southeast Patrol, Riverside, Montopolis area. I was there for 5.5, 6 years, and then I went over to the now defunct Parks unit. Spent 3.5 or so good years over in the Parks unit. Then I ended up downtown after that, spent some time downtown, not super long, promoted out of there. And I was a corporal over in Central West Austin. And I was there for going on about a year or so before 2020 and everything. We can save that for a later episode. I came to the association going on 2 years now. So I've been full-time at the association, so handle kind of the communications and some of our political activities over here at the association.
Yep. So, and then we also have, so here at the association, we have one other officer that works here with us currently, and then we have several other civilians that work here at the association as well. So we have a great team over here that do a lot of good work. Our primary mission is to take care of the officers. So the Austin Police Association, just a kind of a quick history of it all, is we were founded in 1949, so been around for a minute, 75 years at least, and so we're going on 76. But the association was founded in 49 and is currently what is called the exclusive bargaining agent for the officers of the Austin Police Department. So officers voluntarily join the association. Texas is a right-to-work state, which means that no one is obligated to join the association. Officers do it of their own free will. It is their choice to sign up, and they're not, there's no influence, nothing like that. Like, it really is just hey, this is a collective group where we have a similar voice and we assimilate based on freedom of ideas, and everyone comes together and we just provide a unified voice for the officers of the Austin Police Department. We do represent every single rank, and so we represent everyone from the top down, and so a lot of that means that we do a lot of different things. We do legal representation is obviously a big function of what the association does, and that is part of our mission. But we also deal with contract negotiations, which is the labor agreement. Texas operates under what's called meet and confer. At least we do. There's some cities that have the option in their city charter to get collective bargaining. We do not have that at the police association. Fire does. The fire department does. They have collective bargaining. But here at the association, on the police side, rather, we have meet and confer, which means that contract negotiations are voluntary and both sides enter into it because it really is for the betterment of the city and the department. And it's it's like I said, it's all a voluntary process. So, contract negotiations, like I said, we'll get into that just a little bit more here in a little bit, but more about the APA is we also do a lot of community engagements. We're involved with a lot of business folks. We're involved with a lot of outreach. We have a nonprofit, and that nonprofit helps support officers and the community as well in many instances, but their primary mission is to support officers in times of crisis. Usually that means family crisis, family emergencies, other medical stuff that may come up, and our foundation is pretty busy, so they do a lot of good work, and that's another thing we'll highlight probably in another episode a little bit. But so we really are focused on making sure that we take care of officers. We advocate for them. We advocate both internally with the department itself when it comes to anything as simple as operations, when it comes to discipline, when it comes to I don't know. We do a little bit of everything. Things like when officers are injured in the line of duty, workers' comp type stuff, all that kind of stuff. Our job is really to just advocate for the officers, and where it seems like there may be an issue, we step in and we try to help resolve it. Our goal is to find solutions to problems, and we like working with the city, with the department to try to come to these solutions. As with any organization, there are times where we all do not agree. But we have a very respectful relationship, and we understand that there's going to be disagreement, and we try to work through it. But ultimately, I'd say I grew up here in Austin, and so as did Christopher, and so Tyler's an import, but
I am.
Yeah, but two of us are natives, and so we really are vested in the city and the department. We want to see it grow. We want to see it succeed. Even though he's an import, Tyler agrees with that too.
Yes,
like he's
100%.
he's been here long enough and very vested in making sure that our city does prosper, it grows, it gets better. We all came here for a reason, so we really do want to see problems get solved, so that way, hopefully, our city can become a better place. I don't know anything that I missed out on kind of more about what we do other than contract stuff. We'll talk about that here in just a sec. But
Yeah, no, the biggest thing is our job is just to protect the rights of our officers, and whatever that is. And sometimes it's having a conversation with an officer and telling them, yeah, well, you're wrong in that area. And that's not something the department has to do or needs to do. And so sometimes we can mitigate what actually gets sent up the chain of command, and just deal with anything that officers feel they need help with. They come to us first usually, and so we'll work on whatever we can, and then just make sure that they have those protections.
yeah. And so that's kind of the internal part. Other stuff that we do is we also do advocacy and kind of some relationship building, whatever you want to call it, with city level, and so city council, the mayor, city management, and then as well as on the state level. And so we're involved at both of those levels as well. Hopefully, a bunch of y'all saw not that long ago that there was actually a resolution put forth by one of the council members, and that was something that we were out there, we were supporting. It had to do with mental health, something that we do care about and does impact our officers and the calls that they go to. So, I was at council. We supported it, and there's a lot of ways where we can work together. Again, we're not always going to agree. That's okay. Difference of ideas hopefully contributes to better outcomes and better solutions coming forward, right? Not everyone has to agree on things. So difference of opinions is healthy. So we just try to make sure we do things as respectfully as we possibly can. Sometimes messages can be blunt, but that's also the nature of what we do. So, but yeah, one of the biggest things that we do is, like I said, it's contract. And Tyler was actually the chair of our bargaining team this last go round. That did lead to us getting back under contract and did so successfully. So it was a team effort. But like I said, Tyler was the chair of that committee. Just share briefly kind of what you think, like the perks, like the ultimate benefit of being under contract is, like why it is that we fought so hard for that one, why it was such a big issue.
Sure, this is a huge issue for officers, but it's also a big issue for the community and the public here and the citizens of Austin, because the contract provides stability for officers who are working here, so they understand what restrictions and what the working environment is going to be in Austin in the department. It also provides an outlook of, okay, what can I expect in pay and what can I expect in raises? What can I expect in other benefits? That's also good for the city in the sense that they can now plan and budget what is coming, forecast out there, and make sure that they have what they need to make sure they can pay their officers. And then it just sets the guidelines and boundaries for a few areas. So whether it's investigations when an officer has been alleged to have done something against policy, and that could be they were rude on a traffic stop, or that could be they weren't wearing their glow vest, their traffic vest when they should have. And so anything that's a policy violation, this sets out the rules for how those things are investigated. And then there's things that go with pay and benefits. And that's the main parts of the contract that are important to officers, important to everyone involved. And so when we can have that stability, it keeps the officers happier, which when we have happy officers, they want to stay here and they want to continue to do a good job. We know we're in a staffing crisis now, and so a contract can help with retention. And then the two other big things that are really for the city and for us is it helps with hiring standards. So, and recruiting, so you don't have to just follow the basic civil service rules for hiring. You're able to expand that out and have a broader hiring system that's set up by the chief to be able to bring in the best qualified people here to the department. And so that has to have a contract in order for them to expand those rights for the department and for the city. And then the other part is promotions. The officers want good leadership, the department wants good leadership, the city wants good leadership. Under civil service, it's just a written test for promotion. So when you get under contract, you get an expansive promotion process that we expanded even more for one of the top rank of commander this contract, so we can try to develop and have the best leaders in the department.
Yeah, and those are very key issues for a plethora of reasons, which I mean you kind of already hit on. But the one that I do want to highlight is the promotion thing, right? Like we did. And this was an idea that actually came from the association because we are vested in promoting good and quality leaders that are invested in making sure that the department is healthy, that it is led appropriately, and that it's taking care of officers who are in turn going to be able to take care of the city. So there's a whole lot of thought that went into that one. But if it weren't for a contract, we would never be able to test out such an idea, because civil service law, which is the default that we go back to when we are not under contract, it falls under the Local Government Code, Chapter 143, which is also where we get meet and confer rights and all that. And so we have these things outlined in there, but it was written in 1950-ish is when the first version came around, I believe.
Yeah, it's been around
And
for like
so-
70, 75 years.
Yeah, so like clearly it is not updated for modern times, and so contracts allow us to deviate from state law. Meet and confer allows us to deviate from state law, and so in certain areas we can't deviate in others, but in some areas we can, and so that's where we take advantage of it, and that's why the contract is very helpful from a internal health perspective, as well as being able to adjust standards to make sure that we're hiring the right folks, hiring qualified people to come here and that are going to stay here. And I mean, Tyler, you just mentioned it obviously, but the staffing aspect is also super important because in a staffing crisis, if you're in contract, out of contract, if you're fluctuating, if there's a whole lot of instability and a lot of things changing, people look at that when they're looking at jobs and they're looking to move to a department, and it it drives people away. So it makes it a lot harder for us to recruit. Being under contract makes it easier to recruit. And the sheer stability of it, we've already seen in this last year. When we started negotiating, we were getting towards the tail end of negotiations, our resignations, retirements, and all that took a nosedive, where we started seeing a lot fewer people leave the department. In 2023, we lost 167, I believe, right around there. I'd have to double check the numbers.
That sounds pretty close.
Yeah, but a little over 160 people left in 2023. Well, in 2024, we lost 95. And so it took a serious nosedive, like almost cutting it in half. And we're already off to a pretty slow start this year. I think so far we've lost 8.
Yeah,
Eight that have already left or are planned to leave, because retirements tend to be planned out. So over 2 months, we've only lost 8. We're doing pretty good.
Yeah, that's great. Because
So-
I mean, historically, the average is like 5 a month
Mhm.
in normal times. It obviously skyrocketed after 2020, 2018, 2019, all those. It just started going crazy high, to way higher. But now we're back to those or less,
Yeah.
which is good, because then it gives us a chance to hire new officers here to replace those. And I think last year we finally had a net gain of
I think 3.
3.
I think 3,
So
but that's better than
that's-
losing. That's the first time we've gained people.
That's better than losing 80, a
Yeah,
net
that's
loss of
right.
80 or 90, which we've had those years. So
Yeah.
it's a start. But the contract was just signed in October of 2024,
Yes.
so it's new and it's just getting going with all that. So we're very happy with that.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see a lot more progress made this year in gaining staffing. There's a lot of external factors and things that we could go into for quite some time, but we think we're off to a good start. The contract is working, which was the primary goal, and that's great. And so on these episodes going forward, some of the stuff, like I said, just to give you a glimpse of it that we do want to talk about, is we are going to talk about some of the staffing stuff. We have ways of getting, and they're publicly available, but the updated staffing information, kind of what's going on at cadet classes, an overall update about kind of the health of the department, and then some crime stuff, active cases, people who may have active warrants that are kind of a little bit on the higher profile side that we're wanting, you to be on the lookout for. We're going to try to drill down at some stuff in specific neighborhoods. But really the goal is just, like I said, give you a better picture about public safety and policing in Austin that's relatively, short and easily digestible. And then we've got a lot more plans coming up here at the APA about other things that we want to do. But this should be a great start. I'm super excited about it. And, we hope y'all engage, follow along with us. We'll include the links on this video, but you can follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and on X/Twitter. So all of those platforms we're on, and we're going to be putting these videos out. So follow along with us. We're looking forward to future episodes. We should have a lot of good info coming for you. But like I said, we're planning on doing these every week, and hopefully we'll see y'all on a regular basis, and you'll join us for the next one. So we appreciate it, y'all, and we'll see y'all soon.